Howdy. It's been a while. Clearly it's been a while because you can see this mop here. It's like a bloody dunny brush here. Anyway, last time we spoke, last time we did this thing, we were in Esperance from memory, and we left. I'll take this glass off, then I can see a bit better. We left Esperance and we headed out to a place called Bremer Bay. And just outside of Albany, and stayed at Emu Point, which was a lovely place. We did a bunch of walking around the Turundirup National Park, and looked around Albany. It's Albany, like Albanese. It's not Albany like Albury, it's Albany. So if I say that again, just comment or something, I don't know. But while we were there in Albany, that's where they have the Australian Anzac Centre. So it's the Anzac Memorial Centre for all of Australia, which basically commemorates the leaving of the first two convoys that went to Gallipoli. So they all actually left from Albany, from the port there, for a number of reasons. I think I just spat then. It was probably one of the safest places for the Australian troops to actually leave Australian shores. So they all gathered at Albany, and there was a myriad of ships. And as we found out through the records here at Albany, that Melanie's grandfather, so Roy's father, actually shipped out from there on one of the first ships on the first convoy. And also there was a couple of other family members that went through there, and the records are just astonishing in terms of how much detail they had, that they came from Fish Creek, they were a farmer, and even sort of talked about how much money they were given as being privates or whatever category they were. So that was really, really cool finding all that. Obviously we watched a number of sunsets, etc. Then we then had a little spot right near, we sort of went via Denmark, and then through Walpole we saw the Elephant Rock, the treetop walks, through Pemberton to the Gloucester Tree, which is was originally a fire lookout. It's now no longer a fire lookout. But you can actually climb up it. No, you can't. No. I won't. It's the second tallest fire tree in Australia, I think, at 58 metres tall. So that was pretty cool. It was one of the things that people sort of say to see. We then moved and we stayed in Busselton, and there's Busselton's home of the longest jetty, the longest wooden piered jetty in Australia. 1.84 kilometres or something like that. So as is our habit, we walk along the jetty. If there's a jetty, you've got to get to the end of it and come back. And the sunset there was just magnificent. Busselton's a lovely little town. We then went down from Busselton. We took a day trip down to the southwest through Margaret River, the Lewin Lighthouse, and then that's the area where the southern and the Indian Oceans meet, and there's actually a line that you can actually kind of see, or they point to, where the two oceans meet, which is kind of a fascinating thing. And then we saw another sunset at Prevelli up there, which was pretty cool. And what did we do then? The following day we had a swim. We went to the Nilgi, or the Nilgi cave, which is one of the caves. There's a bunch of caves with stalactites and stalagmites along that whole coastline down there, the sort of southwest corner, which is really cool. But then they've also obviously got brewing companies, cideries, wineries, all sorts of eateries, all sorts of stuff. Had dinner at the Black Brewing Company. And then up the top corner there's Cape Naturalist, which is another lighthouse. So they're tours. We've got a tour that you could actually sort of get tickets in to go up into the lighthouses, and they do a bit of a talk on the way the lighthouses came to be, why were they positioned where they were, and then also the nature of the mirrors that they actually use, which is a fascinating story with the mirrors. They actually can't make those sort of mirrors anymore, the glass or the crystal that they use. And then when they sort of move from kerosene to LED or electric lights, and we actually found out that when we came in 1974, we immigrated from South Africa. We actually came past there from Cape Town to Fremantle, and we would have gone past that lighthouse at Cape Naturalist, or possibly Cape Lewin, I'm not 100% sure, but when it was still lit by kerosene. So that was kind of cool back in 1974. And then we moved from Bustleton to north of Freo, to a place called Woodman Point, and that was sort of a recommendation from Mel's cousin Brett, who's up in Exmouth. And then we had a couple of days basically just relaxing around Freo and what have you. One day I think we did about 20,000 steps, which was just like, I think she's trying to kill me. So it was pretty cool. But the best part about the area here that I've found is that it's almost guaranteed you're going to have a cracker of a sunset. So look, we've been having a fantastic time. We've sort of made pretty good progress around that whole southwest, and then we're going to end up heading up sort of further up at some point. Shortly we got Rottnest Island to do before we sort of head a little bit further north, but that'll be coming up for the next one, so hang around.